Okay, so it's now time. Yes, it's that time. It's time to start building. So this is build update number 1. And in build update number 1, I'm going to get the kit made. Okay, so let's go down to the instructions. We'll have a look at the instructions. We'll see what we've got to do. I usually do it maybe one, depends on the steps. Sometimes I might do 2 or 3 steps, but seems to be a pretty easy build. So I'll do, so 1 or 2 at a time. We'll have a look and we'll see how we go. Okay, and then when I build it, we'll come back, we'll have a look at it, this quick discussion, how that went, that step went, or that number of steps went, and we move on. So, without further ado, let's go down to the bench and let's get started. Okay then, so here we are, right? There's the instructions. Now it gives you a nice, nice write-up there on the heavy tank, King Tiger. Okay, if you want to read that, and you get to go off and read it. I mean, there's too much of it there for me to read the whole lot. You'd be bored of me, and you'd turn me off, and you'd go over and start watching videos of Antifa tearing the place around and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so there's the write-ups. So, like all German tanks, for some weird reason, we have to start off with the wheels, right? Now, we've got our drive sprockets and our idlers, right? We've got to make up 2 of each. And I was right in the unboxing, I thought there was a 3-piece idler. So there is a 3-piece idler and a 2-piece thing. And we've got our little, whatchamacallits in there. Polycap. It says it there, John. Polycap. Right, so we've got to make those up. That's step 1. Step 2. We're on with the installation of the inside wheels. Okay, so that basically what that is. Right, and part 2, and step number 3 then, we're doing the outside wheels with our little towing yoke bobbies there. Right, we're fitting the idler and the drive sprocket as well. Now, because they're polycaps, and these even our front ones are polycapped on, I'm going to make them all, put them on, but they'll be taken off for the painting section of it. Okay, I get these 3 steps done, right? So by the time you see all this again, in a couple of seconds for you, but it won't be a couple of seconds for me. I said it's a quick build, but they're not that freaking quick. I mean, because all these wheels will have to be all cleaned off, because I know for a fact that they're going to have seam lines. There's going to be pretty decent amount of cleanup on them. Okay, so when I get to that stage, we'll come back, we'll have a look at it, discuss how all that went, how bad it was, how good it was. Did it surprise me? Were all the pieces there for it? And did it all work out well? Or did it not work out well? Okay, so I get them done, and then I'll get back to you, and we'll see how it went. Hey. Okay then, so we've started. I'm have to get the first 3 steps done. Right, you can see it here beside me. We'll get a closer look now in a second. First of all, I had to make up the drive sprocket and the idler wheel. Very easy, went together. Nice locator pins, just slipped together, simple as that. When it came to the wheels, very easy, very easy, no problems with them whatsoever. These little rubber polycap type objects were quite nice. I had to do a tiny bit of shaving on one of these, just the tiniest little bit. It was actually on the hull I had to shave rather than the actual piece themselves after that, and I said when a tiniest little piece, they slotted in perfect. Same kind of problem with one of these. The hole wasn't quite big enough, so I had to kind of just open the hole a little bit, but really no problems. Okay, That's these little things here. Okay, one of the holes, this wasn't big enough, it had to be done, right? There's the wheels, there's those little polycap things. It's the same material as polycaps, they're the end caps there for the wheels, the hubs, but no problems with them whatsoever. And the exact same then with the outer wheels, again no problems. Everything just slotted in perfectly, really did. And here we go. Right, there's the drive sprocket, there's all the wheels. Right, you can see from underneath, you can see how nicely they all look. Okay, you can light over that there, John. Okay, so as you can see, a nice fit, no problems whatsoever. Everything works and moves and everything else. Now, when it comes to painting, because these are, I was just about to say, because the fact that they're the steel wheels, I'll paint them on the vehicle. But all it takes then is, you know, move the wheel, and that kind of ruins that idea. So we'll have to paint them off the vehicle. Okay, so there we go. That's the first part done again. But because the fact that they're these rubber polycaps, should be no problem taking them off and getting the wheels painted. I can see no problems whatsoever. So, like I said, that's the first 3 steps done. So now we move on. Right, step 4 and step 5 and step 6. I'll do step 4 and step 5. We'll come back then for step 6. Step 4, anyway, right? We're fitting the back plate, but before we do that, we've got to make up the back plate. And all that goes onto the back plate, we've got the 2 exhausts and the 2 kind of covers. For interior, then we've got the seat basically for the driver, what he's seating onto, rather than a seat, shall we say. And we've got the ball mount for the machine gun. Now, I have done these type before. They are very easy to do. Never had any problems with that type before. Okay, closer look at that. Very easy to do. Okay, so that's the hull mounted machine gun. Okay, now then we're on to step 5, fixing the armour. Now, I am going to do a little bit of damage on these. Okay, I'm going to remove one of these centre ones, bend up 2 sides on these. Also, I'm going to kind of remove the front sections here, right? The front mudguards that flap down. I'm going to take them off altogether. Reason is I like it when they're missing, because you can see the track much better, and it kind of looks good. I do like the effect of it, so I'm going to go for that. Then we've got some tools, basic tools to go on. We've got the starter. We've got a couple of lifting hooks there for the on the engine deck. We have a visor covers. We call them visor covers. I don't know what they are anyway, but we call them visor covers there for the periscope visor covers. There we go. And we got this vent cover here as well. We've also got the shovel and tow rope. Now, looking at what that was, what really has to be done there, I will do step 6 as well, because all it is just a couple of vent covers there, the tow hooks, right, the cleats or U-bend, the U-hook tap thingies, and we've got the tow ropes there, right. Now, I'm just going to pop them into place. I'm not going to glue them in, because it's much easier to glue them in afterwards. Plus, if there's decals to go on, the decals can go in underneath, so there's going to be no problems there. I just want to check ahead, actually, see, are there decals there? Because if there is going to be decals there, we don't want to be No, there's no going to be no decals there. So I can glue them into place. Okay, I don't mind painting them on the vehicle. I do quite a lot of them, but what I don't want to do basically is to have problems with decals. You know, I did it with the last Tiger. It wasn't that much of a problem, but I'd sort of preferred if they were separate and I could have kind of put them on first and then put on the tow cables. But I put it on. I don't see why not. I don't see why it's going to cause any problems. This one here is already moulded on to the vehicle, onto the sides of that. One thing we did notice when we were doing the unboxing. And then we've got the driver's hatch. So I'll get them done. Steps 4. Quick look at them. Step 4, that's including the back plate. Step 5 and step 6. Okay, I'll get them done and we will come back and we will have a look at all that. So next time you see it, they'll be done. Okay then, so we're after getting step 4, step 5 and step 6 done, including a bit of battle damage and a small little bit of something extra. We'll call it that, a small little bit of something extra, which I'll show you now in a second. It's not really that much. Now, put on these parts here, no problems, everything went well. Actually, in the matter of the whole thing, I had no problems with any fit issues. Everything went in perfectly. Everything seated nicely. Everything just looked right. Okay, so there was no problems with anything there. No, but I did have, I wouldn't say it's a problem, but it's a discrepancy. Okay, it's a discrepancy that I'm not exactly too thrilled about. Here, right? Now it gives the covers for there, and there. But you've also got this little section here, right? Close up. There. That little item there. Ta-da! Right? We'll see it again here. Right. There is nothing to go on that, and it's basically a little built up thingy-majiggy, and there is no hole there whatsoever. No hole, or there's a hole there, should I say, but there's nothing to go into it. So I just looked up a couple of other people's builds of various King Tigers. Noticed a lot of other little discrepancies with this kit. These side skirts, they're not kind of say the same as the Tiger 1 ones, where they have the the split pieces. They have a kind of a bit of an overhang piece that goes onto them. Well, that's on each one, should I say. That doesn't go on, it's on a separate piece. It goes like that, and one sort of sits in over the other. Okay, so it's got a kind of a kink in it. Mine might be ugly what, but it's got a kink in it, and one plate fits over the other like that. Now, whether that was just, say, the one that I saw, or the couple that I saw, shall we say, but it's not on this one. But even if you look here on the little picture of a tiger that's actually there, you can kind of make it out here, right? See, it is slightly raised up. I don't think it gives any other pictures of that area of a tiger, King Tiger that is. No, it doesn't. Right, not on that anyway. Okay, and also, but anyway, that's relevant. I'm after finding something to fit onto that spot. Onto my little hole here, shall we say. And I also added a bit of wire on for wiring up the headlight. Okay, there's the headlight. Now I did a bit of damage, like I said I was going to do. I want to do another little bit, but I'll do that later on. I'll use my Dremel. I want to kind of put in a glancing blow, right? A glancing blow where I kind of took a bit of a chunk off the sides or whatever, Oops. little kind of, took a little chunk here on the side or whatever, and leaves a kind of a glancing blow at the side. But there we go. Anyway, this is the bit I've done, right? There's a bit of wiring I put on, right? For the wire, I had some of this stuff here. It's just a bit of wire, plastic coating on it, melted off the plastic coat, and I ended up with a nice stiff wire. Okay, so I used a bit of that, and I wired it in, right? Super glued in, no problems. So I'm happy enough with that. Okay, it'll do the job. A little bit of a kind of a tilt in it when you look at it forward, but like I said, this thing is going to have bits of battle damage anyway, so it could quite easily have been damaged. Alright, a little bit of damage here on the sides of these. I did say separate them out a bit, as you can see. Right, I'm after making them separate pieces. When I try to see exactly again, the plastic in this is very, very brittle. Now I'm going to leave that off actually, because it kind of looks okay. Actually, this whole piece came off here, as you can see. I had to kind of glue it back on. Right, so I probably will glue that back into place, so I'm not really too worried about it. It's just the plastic is so brittle, when you try to bend it, it'll break rather than bend. Right, so it was kind of pretty hard to kind of ruffle up the sides of that a bit, right? And the same then at that side. I did a little bit again, just a little bit of damage. Where it's after catching something, shall we say. That was purposely done. I don't think that I caught it in something. I'm saying that it's representing something that was caught in it. And these things here are just a little bit worse for wear. Left off the back too at that side. Left off a kind of a front little section there. The whole front has gone from that side, and one of the panels gone from that side. Now, the ropes, the toe ropes in this are actually very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Compared to, say, some newer kits where they're actually quite bad, full of seam lines and things like that. But there was just the tiniest little seam line, just a quick little scraping, and it actually got rid of that. So as you can see, that's actually quite nice. Now here's that hole I was talking about. See it? That is ugly. But in looking around at, like I said, other builds online, there is a cover goes over it. Went through my parts box and I found this thing here, right? Now I know it's not accurate, but then again, there's loads in this that aren't accurate, but I don't like that hole. That fits over there perfectly, so I'm going to glue that in place over that. Right? I'm going to make sure that the two little dots that are on it are either facing forward or facing sideways. I'm not going to have them skew ways, but I left it off just to show you what this. I don't like that thickened hole. So I'm going to glue that on. I'm going to glue that little piece back in as well. It'll have plenty of time to sit because I'm onto the turret next. Right, so we're finished with the hull. We're finished with the lower hull. Just with those little two pieces to glue back in. Now back to the destructions, and we're onto the turret. Okay, so we've got, like I said, we've got our 6-piece barrel. 7 pieces if you include the that thing there. I wonder, does it say what it is? A17. Because if you go back here to parts list, A17 gun shield. There we go. They call it a gun shield. So the gun shield, right? And our 6 pieces for the barrel. What I can do is glue them together and see how it comes out. So if it fits together nice and neatly, then it should have no problems. And hopefully we won't have any problems with it, right? We got a small little bit of detail there for the breech. Then we've got to fit the breech, the stand there for the commander to stood on. Right, we've got the cupola ring, the commander's hatch, a handle. We've got all the little hooks there for hooking on the spare track links, and it shows about making up the spare track links. We've got 2 more lifting hooks here and here, and we've got the escape hatch there at the back. Right, so we have a couple of little lifting eyes and things to go on as well. And believe it or not, that's all she wrote. That's all that's in the build. Bar, of course, the tracks, which are rubber tracks. And we've got 2 figures. We've got the driver and we've got the commander. Okay, so there's only a couple small few steps. I'll get them done. We'll come back then. We'll have a look at the whole thing completely built up, and the figures all built up again. So that'll be the end of the build update. So it's actually going to be very, very short. I did say that at the start. It's going to be a quick build. It's the fun with this one is going to be in the painting. Yes, the painting and the weathering. The last one I didn't do very, very much of a weathering job on it. I wanted it nice and reasonably clean, whereas this one I'm going to have it nice and reasonably dirty. Okay, so we'll get step 7 done. We'll build the breech. We'll fit them all together. Okay, and that is step 7. Step 8, we're adding on hooks and lifting eyes, right? Cupola ring, the commander's hatch, some more lifting eyes and hooks and things like that, the track, and finally the escape hatch there at the back. Okay, so I'll get them done. We'll come back, we'll have a look at it, then we'll get on and we'll get the figures done. Okay, so I'll do that much. We'll have a look at the thing made up. I'll make the figures and we'll have a look at them then before we finish up this video. So I'll get them done. I'll be back to you in figures 2 for you, but it might be, say, a day or 2 for me, seeing as I kind of work, especially if I want to get the gun right. I try to leave that overnight at least once I glue them together, and then go sanding it off. Don't try and sand it off just after fixing it. All you end up doing is, you know, dragging melty plastic, which doesn't look good at all. And I can tell you that because I've been there and done that and destroyed it. So I'll get them done. I'll come back to you and we'll go through the instructions and we'll discuss how all that went. Okay then, so we're after getting the turret all done. Okay, it's basically all assembled and I've had no problems with it whatsoever. Everything fitted in absolutely beautiful, literally. Okay, so here we go. There is the turret, right? The gun came out quite nice. Okay, as you can see, practically no join seam line whatsoever. Right, we get a close up of that. Okay, give it a full spin around. Come up very nice, very, very nice indeed. No problems, absolutely beautiful. Alright, now I'm after gluing on these track pieces. Okay, reason is that they were very fiddly. Chance of them breaking off was pretty high, so I decided to do them on it. Okay, now it's time to do a little bit of finishing work on them as well, because if you look closely there on them, they've got a few of them old ejector pin marks, the dreaded ejector pin marks, right? So what I decided to do, instead of going cleaning them off each one individually, I'm going to leave them on, and I'm going to use a bit of this, the old Mr. Surfacer on them. That'll give them that little bit of texture that would be on them anyway, and at the same time it'll cover up those nasty ejector pin marks. I will go over them with the scalpel first, just give them a little bit of a scrape just to make sure they're not raised, and that'll be that then. That'll be the turret done. Okay, so turret boxed off. So next, what have we got next? Okay, we've got the 2 figures. They've got to be made up. Okay, pretty straightforward. It's just you get a it's just a body with a head of the whole lot, and just stick on the arms, and this fella gets an extra little piece. He gets a pair of binos, he gets a pair of binoculars, right? And after that then we just have the tracks to do. Quite easy again. Melt a screwdriver or a piece of metal, whatever it is, put the two things together, pot in the pins, and give them a quick melt. The only tip I can give you there really is don't overheat the screwdriver. Okay, you don't have to have it red hot. You don't have to have it red hot. Just heat it up enough that it'll melt the rubbers on those, and they're very, very easy melt. So don't overheat them, and just give them a quick rub. Okay, and finally then the fast step then of the assembly, shall we say, is to put it all together. So I'll get that lot done. We'll come back, we'll have a quick look at it, and then we'll see where we go to from there, because I'm not just finished with the construction. I'm going to do a little bit of extra battle damage. Now, I already did battle damage, as you saw, on the body of the tank, mainly just the fenders either side. So I did a bit of that. So I want to do a little bit more. So we'll see what more I get done. Now, when we come back, I will have the figures done, and I will have the tracks done. I might even have them put on, and I might even have the thing put together. We never know. We'll have a look at it anyway. We'll see what I'll do. I'll tell you, I'm going to go out one of these days and sort of stick a baseball bat through the spokes of one of those bloody motorbikes up and down the road. There's a main road there. Well, not a main road, but a main road through, say, a housing estate or housing development, whatever you want to call it. And there's teenagers on motorbikes, and they're not, say, street motorbikes. These are scramblers, and they're up and down the main road every evening, and they're doing wheelies up and down the road, and there's kids out playing. One of these days someone's going to get hurt, and I hope it's one of them and not an innocent child. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to modelling and stop John whinging for a while. Right, as you can see, I'm after getting that done. Right, have the figures mounted on that. Do the tracks. The tracks went together, like I said, very, very nicely indeed. The tracks are pretty horrible. But then again, they're the old Tamiya tracks. You know, what do you expect? They're not going to be suddenly, not suddenly going to find a kit that they're absolutely exceptional in. They're not. They're very bad. But they'll do. You know, I mean, a bit of painting, a little bit of weathering, and they can end up adequate. We'll call it that. We'll call it adequate. Right. So the figures themselves, they were again pretty basic. The driver, or the commander, shall we say, he did have feet, but when the feet were on him and you stuck him in his turret, he was sort of up there a bit. Now, he was a bit too high, so I chopped off the bottom of his legs. And then I realised, in fact, I must have chopped off a little bit too much, so he's got a bit of a, he's a little bit high, but I can remedy that. Do you know what I mean? I can add a little piece to the stand. Not worried about that too much. There's only just the slightest little bit off. Right, but there's the figures anyway. We'll have a close look at the figures. I had a little bit of filling to do on the arms of them, you know, where the arms join, because you're going to have the tiniest little gaps. Not so much on this guy. A bit of scraping, a bit of glue and things like that, and his shoulders came up grand. But there he is. Not a bad figure. Not bad at all. Okay. There's figure number 1, and here's our driver on his headphones, listening to a bit of Pink Floyd maybe. If they had Pink Floyd back in 1984, he'd have definitely been listening to it, but unfortunately he's listening to the radio, for, as in, you know, not the top 40, but the positions of what to do next. Okay, so quite nice. Okay, not exceptional again, but actually not bad at all. Right? No, we'll get him into the hand there without anything else. See, can we get a pretty decent look at him? Right? Excuse me. Throw a bit of light on the subject. He's not bad. He's not bad at all. be nicely when he's painted up. Okay, like I said, we're not expecting. This is an old 70s kit, and we're not expecting anything sensational in it, right? So next thing, we've got to do a bit of damage. Now I'm going to do a couple of shell marks and things like that, and I've been searching around a few bits and pieces, and I've decided, what I'm going to do regarding a bit of battle damage. Now, mark them off with a pen, and then you can work away. I find works brilliant, so you can sort of see, right, where do I want it. Okay, so I want maybe a shell impact there, one here, one there. Not too many. You don't want it sort of, well, I don't want it pockmarked. That's not brilliant. It works for two and then it decides to stop. Right, one there. No, it is not going to work for me. Okay, well anyway, you know what I want. I want one here, one there, and I want a kind of a lancing blow up around here. Right, there we go. Now it's fucking working. Right, so it's 3 there on that. I want one there. I want one here. I want one here. Where else? Maybe some small ones. Small one here. No. Small one here. Seems to only work if you want to put it at an angle, right? So we've got a small one there. Over the other side. No, I won't do any. And on the skirts here, I'm going to do on this one here, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 little kind of machine gun holes where I got hit with a burst of 0.5 for fire maybe or whatever. They'll be sort of through and through, but remember these are only the light armoured shields. They got damaged very, very easy. At this side, no, we've enough damage done at that side. I try not to mirror things, in other words, the same damage done on both sides and things like that, so that's enough. So how I'll do them is I will, with a drill bit, go in a bit, then fill that little hole with a bit of putty. When the putty's almost dry, go in with something round and give it a little swivel around. That will kind of raise up the putty around, clean off the putty, so that will give it then that kind of little extra bit of a ridge around it. Then with a scalpel, a couple of little pock marks that makes up for, say, the what shrapnel, that's the word I'm looking for. Same idea up here in the mantlet, and with here then it'll be just a case of just drill through, okay, and give it a little bit of an indent as well with something like that, just kind of push it in just that slight little bit, just where it kind of distorts from them. So I think that will be enough battle damage on it. For the glancing blow up here, I might use my Dremel with a little grinding bit and kind of take out a little groove out of here, because in other words the shell just sort of hit the top of that and boing, bounced up and away. So she's still working away, she's still working grand. Okay, so I'll get the battle damage done. We'll come back then, and that'll be the final reveal, shall we say, of the build part of it. Not the final reveal itself, but the final reveal of the build part of it. Okay, and then we're going to build it, get it painted then at that. Still haven't decided exactly what camo scheme I'm going to go for. I've two things in mind. One is that P dot one, tricolour, but with the little extra little dots inside in it, ambush pattern. That's another one I could do, and I think I have the decals there for the what the octopus pattern, because some time ago I did the Academy one, and it comes with the octopus pattern decals. But the only thing about decals, they want to be absolutely perfect, and then you're kind of trying to weather them and make them look good. So I might miss on that one. I don't want to go to the usual stripy pattern, because that's what I always seem to do. So I might just go for, say, a tricoloured ambush pattern. I think that would be the best thing to do for it. Okay, so I'll get that done, lads. I'll get back onto you and we'll have a look at it anyway, just before it's all ready for painting. Okay then, I'm after doing a nice little bit of damage, and I'm going to do one more piece, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. Simple as that. I call it a tutorial, call it what you want, call it John just showing off. I don't care. Anyway, right, here on the glacis plate, right, we've got 4 nice impacts. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do one more now, just up here. Okay, we have that one there at the side with a couple more little bits of damage. Right. When all that dries then and is painted, and you can kind of go in afterwards then with more paint, and grey up those areas, it'll look an awful lot better again. Right, but you can see what I mean about how it's slightly raised, right? And there's one there, and there's our 3 impacts there on the front of the gun fronty piece. Okay, I'll do one more, and I'll do it just up here, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. Right, so it's going to be awkward now trying to do it here with the camera on, but I'm using this. It's a drill bit. Don't actually know what size it is. I think it's we'll be able to make it out on that. My old eyesight ain't the best, and I just got a reasonable size. Okay, not too big, right? As you can see, not too big at all. Right, so we're going to do it up here. Now you don't need a drill, because if you use it with a drill, the chances of you actually drilling through it are much harder, right? So hold the drill bit like that into your hand, right? Using, say, that part of your hand to give it a bit of pressure. And you can, excuse me again, you can rotate there as well, right? Yeah. So we start off. Start to go in. When you feel it biting, then, right? Because you have to go straight in for it to get it to bite. Once you can feel it starting to bite into the plastic, right? See there, it's starting to lift a bit of plastic. Then go in at your straight angle, right? Keep checking on it. Remember, you're not using a drill bit, or sorry, a drill, so therefore you're not going to get it to, it's not instant, right? So there we go. As you see, okay, not too big at all, right? Then with a soft brush, just to clean off all of that little bit of extra gunk. Right, there we go. Now, this is what I'm using. I'm using Mr. White Putty. We don't want it out there. Mr. White Putty. Put a small bit of it on a piece of cardboard or a bit of plastic or whatever you want, using a toothpick. We call them toothpicks over here, a cocktail stick, whatever you want to call it. so many different places, so many different names for basically every item that you can possibly think of. Okay, now get yourself a small bit of putty. And fill it up that it's actually level. Right? Fill it up. Ta-da. That's actually level. Right? Because remember, when the shell comes in and it strikes away, it's not going to take the piece of metal away with it. It's going to kind of mushroom it out, you know, that sort of reverse mushroom. Okay, now I'm using this. Right, I get every now and then I buy an old cheap paint set. You buy them inside in pawn shops and things like that. And I buy the nail art ones. Okay, now with them come one of these, which is for pushing back these cuticles or something like that, or whatever it's for. I don't know. That's what I think it's for anyway. Oh, it's just little metal, kind of a pointy ball-y thing. Right? With that, right, go into the centre of it. Push it out like that. Okay. A bit of sculpting is needed. Believe me, if I can do this, anybody can, because I ain't no sculptor. No, you want that to kind of dry in a bit, right? Then, use either a very small drill bit or a hobby knife or something like that. Make a couple of scrapes and dents and scratches around it. That's where the bits of shrapnel that will come off. Kind of damage the area around it. Right, if you Google image shell impacts on armour, that's all you got to put in, shell impacts on armour. You will see all these little extra scrapey bits around it. Now, you don't have to go overboard, just a couple of little ones like that. Then using a bit of this, to me, extra thin cement, just a small bit on your brush. Kind of clean off that area there. Right. Now, remember, you're not really going to see those little bits of shrapnel impacts at the moment. But when you're doing your painting and you go over that with a wash, the wash will kind of go into those. So you mix with a couple of little extra bits and pieces. Now, you can also tidy up that with your hobby knife. Make it nice and pretty. And there you go. That's a nice shell impact. Okay. And I did my machine gun bits at the side as well. Now what I did was I went behind thing. I took it off. We'll take it off and show you. Now as you see, I got I told you that already. I'm half forgetting that I already showed you the tracks. They're not great, as you can see. Okay, but they'll do the job. Right. I went back behind them there, and I thinned out the plastic. Right, on that area where I'm putting the machine gun burst. Just thinned out the plastic a bit. The reason it's a bit dirty there is I accidentally rubbed a bit of in cleaning it off. I used a bit of Tamiya extra tin and then rubbed my finger across it, so I had to sand it off, and the sanding stick had a bit of black mark in it, and I kind of got onto it. I had to clean it off, so that's why it's a bit black. Right? Well, there we go. There's our little machine gun burst in the front, just for effect. Right? So that's the damage on it. So let's assemble everything again. I will be taking it all apart for painting, but just for the exercise of finishing off this video, there she is, all assembled. Little bit of battle damage, but still workable. Okay, right there now, so I can see it. So I'm going to end the video at that, lads. Next step for this will be to get it all painted. Oh, excuse me, a bit of a belch with my painting. Next step for this would be to get it all painted. Now I have decided I'm going to go for the tricolour ambush pattern, which is basically dark yellow, red or dark brown or red brown, and green. Okay. Now I did get the new Tamiya colours for that. Got it there some time ago, so I'm going to use those new Tamiya colours on it. We'll explain all in the painting video, which will be the next video that will be up after this one. So, if you liked the video, don't forget to give it the old thumbs up. If you didn't like it, like I said, give it the thumbs down. But if you do give it the thumbs down, then just let me know why you're giving it the thumbs down. Am I sort of full of it or whatever? I don't pretend to be an expert. I sort of try to be as honest as I can with you. I enjoy it. It's a hobby, and that's it. And if I pass on one or two little tips, then yay. Now with this tip with the shell impacts, okay, I didn't come up with that on my own. I found it on YouTube. The chap that I'm actually copying, so these things I can do is to give him recognition for it. There's a chap called Night Shift. Okay, some of you are probably already watch him. I think he's Russian. I could be wrong, but Night Shift, excellent channel, very, very good. He does some absolutely fabulous work. Now he's streaks and miles and miles and miles ahead of me. I could never be at the level that he's at, but I don't try to be. Okay, I try to take a couple of his little hints and tips and use them in my modelling, and that's what I did with lots of other different bits and pieces and different modelling YouTubers. But you take a bit of this, take a bit of that, and apply them for myself. I say, oh, well, I can use that tip, or I can't use that. I'm not that good, or whatever, So, until the next time, lads, stay safe. Out and buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it, and I will catch you on the next one.